Hey everybody, it's Dr. Hager again. You guys have been sending in so many questions, which is great. So I'm going to try and answer a few questions in each video. Today we'll talk about how will my child's immune system be affected during quarantine? What are some safe practices for visiting with grandparents? And is it safe for my child to rejoin sports teams? So will my child's immune system be affected by being home during quarantine? The short answer is no. We build up our immunity over years. It won't be severely affected by a few months at home. Every time that our kids were exposed to germs at school, they built up antibodies or other forms of immunity, and those are there to protect them long term. And while we've been home, we've still been experiencing illnesses. We've brought home germs from the grocery store. We've played outside and been exposed to germs there. So we really haven't been living in a bubble the past few months. So all this is to say that when our kids are ready to go back to school, they're going to be just fine. So the next question was, how do we let our children safely play with the grandparents? Most grandparents fall into a high-risk group simply by age alone, so anyone who's 65 or older. In general, we should be wearing masks and following social distancing when we're spending time with anyone in the high-risk group, especially now that our kids are going out and playing more with other children, and we're going out to the grocery stores or out for dinners on patios. We want to make sure that we're really protecting that vulnerable population. If you're one of many who relies on grandparents for childcare, we totally understand that, and it would be very difficult to wear masks all day long. Just recognize that there is a risk if we decide to not use those extra precautions. So maybe your family wants to stay home a little bit more, practice more strict social distancing, and have things delivered. You guys need to decide what's the best for your family, and feel free to reach out with any specific questions. So the last question for today is, can I let my children safely rejoin sports teams? As usual, if anyone in your family is in a high-risk group, we encourage you to take extra precautions, and sport teams are probably not the best idea for your family right now. For the rest of the community, it really depends on the sport that they're playing. So high-intensity sports like basketball and soccer, it would be very difficult to wear a mask while running up and down the court or on the field, and virtually impossible to physically distance. It is safer if those games are played outside, so keep that in mind when talking to the organizations about what they have planned to keep your children safe. Alternatively, other sports like tennis or baseball are fairly safe for right now. Kids are able to keep distancing from each other and would be able to wear masks more easily. Also, games like hockey, where you're wearing a helmet, you could potentially wear some kind of visor or face shield that would offer protection as well. Overall, there is a risk in rejoining sports teams. However, we are encouraging kids to get back to their social interactions with friends, physical activity, and some sense of normalcy. So figure out what works best for you, and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any specific questions on that. Okay, that's all for today. Take care.